Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Let's start with a prayer today. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, beloved Master, Paramhansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. And we ask thy blessings on our satsang today and on our lives, that we might feel thee within our hearts, minds, and souls, always. We are thy children. Receive us and bless us. Om Shanti Shanti. We'll start today with a song and then a excerpt from a talk by Swamiji on this topic, what comes of itself, let it come. Welcome again, friends.
Dare to be different, dare to be free, dare to roam far like wind on the sea, fly like a gull, soar high on the air, be strong in your courage when others despair. Never in anger, never in haste, go without pride, be never abased. Freedom is yours, if freedom you'll give, to all give it freely, in freedom you'll live. Mountains that stand up tall to the sky, tell us no dreaming is ever too high. Dare to defy them, brave that high peak, you'll never know failure if bravely you seek. Dare to be different, dare to be free, dare to roam far like wind on the sea, fly like a gull, soar high on the air, be strong in your courage when others despair.
Accept what God gives you. Don't rail against him. Don't say God is unjust. How often have I heard that expression? Why does God do this to me? Why does God do that to them? There's a reason. You know, one very interesting thing is that of all the people who have found God, you don't find one of them saying, what a scam. They all say it was worth it. They've all had to go through sufferings. They've all had to go through pain, grief, torment. Yes, that's life. Where there is life, there will be pain and there will be happiness. But those who have accepted it find that if they endure, if they keep their faith, at the end, this is the wonderful thing I've discovered, and I've had a few years of living on the path. 55, that's not many years in eternity, but in a person's life, it's a fair amount. I can say without any equivocation at all that every single test I've endured, and some of them were fierce, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for what I learned. I'm grateful for the strength I gained. I'm grateful for the joy I felt at the end of them, and finally, I reached the point where even during the tests, I felt joy, because I saw that I knew God was there. I knew he was having his fun with me, but you might say, what a bizarre sense of humor. Yeah, sometimes it seems that way, but in the end you find that you're not laughing, not being laughed at, you're laughing with him. It was all great fun. You needed the tests in order to grow. You needed the hardships in order to become strong. Without them, you know, as my master used to say, that a boxer doesn't become strong by boxing babies. He becomes strong by boxing other strong men. You become strong by facing your tests.
Welcome again to everyone. This is such an important topic and one for our spiritual growth. Master said, there are no such things as obstacles, only opportunities. And also that circumstances are neutral. It depends on how we look at them, if we see them as positive or negative. That's a very important statement. And I think you would remember it's a sweet incident that happened with Swamiji, with Master, when he was walking by his guru, and Master said to him, well, how are you, Walter? That's what he called him. And Swamiji says, well, and Master says, that's good. And that's the thing. We have to say, yes, I can, I will, no matter what trials are thrown at me. And I love what Swamiji said, that it seems like God has sometimes a bizarre sense of humor. Well, it does at times. You feel like, why is this happening? Why is it happening to me? Well, Swamiji put it very clearly. It's happening for our own, we can say, burning up our karma. It's our own. We can say it's for our spiritual growth. We can say it's because it makes us stronger. It helps us to be more in tune. It helps us to be more dynamic, more energetic, to be more powerful, to break the wall of delusion. Everything that comes to us, if we rise up to it, then we find we're stronger. If we know, I don't want to, don't give me another test. And the Master said, Divine Mother will never give you a test that you can't overcome, but also that you have to put out the energy. 25% is our efforts. 25% Guruji gives us his blessings. 50% is God's grace. And everyone thinks that his test is the biggest ones, the only ones. I was remembering the story of the Buddha when one of his disciples had lost her son. And she came to him and said, can you bring him back to life? And he knew he couldn't just answer her straight out intellectually. He just said, go to a house that has seen no death and take mustard seeds from there and bring it back to me. She went from house to house. She couldn't find one house. Of course she couldn't find one house. Everyone has gone through that. And when Siddhartha, the Buddha in his early life, when he was protected from all things that were dark or negative or whatever from his life in the kingdom. Finally, he went outside the kingdom with his one of his friends, and he saw this old man, and he said, what has happened to him? He'd never seen an old man before. They had hidden everything from him. And his companion said, oh, my Lord, he's old. And he said, well, does everybody get like that? He said, yes, my Lord, everyone does. And then he went further and he saw a person that was ill. And he said, what's wrong with him? He said, oh, my Lord, he's ill. And he said to him, is everybody get like that? And he said, yes. And then they went further down the road and they saw a corpse. And he said, what has happened here? He said, oh, my Lord, this man has died. And Siddhartha says, does that happen to everybody? He says, yes, it happens to everybody. And we have to realize these things happen. We can't run and hide. We can't hope it doesn't happen to us. Ups and downs, problems with relatives, problems with their job, financial, it's all there. But if we cling to God, and this is what Swamiji was saying, no one has said, oh, it wasn't worth it. I love what he said. It was a scam. Beautiful. wonderful. No, everyone says it's completely worth it. I was grateful. I was grateful for the pain. I was grateful that I grew from it. I was grateful for the test. Now, during the test, you're not so grateful, but after a while, you look back and you say, hey, that was worth it. I was reading a beautiful story of Lahiri Mahashayaji, where he was walking from the Ganges with one of his disciples. And he told the disciple, tear off a cloth from your dhoti. And the disciple wondered, now what is he up to now? And so then just at that moment, a brick fell from a house they were passing by, and it fell on Lahiri Mahashayaji's foot. And his foot started bleeding, one of his toes. And he said, give me that cloth. And he wrapped the cloth around his toe. And the disciple said, well, Guruji, why, if you knew that was going to happen, why didn't you avoid? He said, no, it wasn't possible. That had to come. Now, thinking of him, it probably had to come for his disciples, but it had to come. He said it's going to come sooner or later. It had to come. And these things that happen, we can't always think that it won't happen. The guru won't let it happen. Sometimes a lot of things do happen. But also, I like to think of this, and wonderful things also come. We also always think what comes of itself, oh, it's going to be something bad. But wonderful things come. Look at our spiritual lives. Our guru came. Our gurus came. All of them. Our path came. Kriya came. All the techniques came. The teachings came. Our guru bhais came. Centers came. The music came of Swamiji. The chants, the books. So much has come. What comes of itself, let it come. And Master just poured everything out to us. He said, if you could do 1/100th of what I've given you, you would get there. And I'll give you lots of my good karma. And if we see these things as our protection, as our way of being in tune, as our way of staying inspired and uplifted and hand in hand with our gurus, then we can make it. I was reading a story, an autobiography. Those of you, I'm sure all of you have read autobiography. You may remember the story of these two disciples of Lahiri Mahashaya who asked for a photograph of him. And he said, well, all right. But he said, if you deem it only a photo, that's all it will be. If you deem it a protection, that's what it will be. And they were studying one day, and they had the photo of Lahiri Mahashayaji on their table. And there was a big storm and a lightning everywhere. And they thought they would be harmed, but they weren't, because they saw it as a protection. And I think that's the most important thing. We have to see everything that God's given us as a protection. We're being protected by doing Kriya every day. We're being protected by energizing every day, doing Mahamudra, chanting, studying, coming to class, being in satsang, doing long meditations, service. My God, we're being protected by our Master's aura. And we all remember the blessings of Babaji with that one disciple who he went to Swami Shankaracharya, and he, at that lifetime, Master told this story. He said, in that lifetime, Shankaraji was an astrologer. And this servant of Babaji went to him for his astrological reading. And you've just got to know, astrology only goes so far. Master took his astrological reading, he tore it up, and he lit it with the flame and said that God is above this. And so what happened was this Shankarji told this man, he looked at his astrological chart and he says, oh, wow, you're going to die tonight. This is a heavy karma. And the man, he was shocked. He went back to Babaji, his guru. I think it was his guru, but it says he was his servant, that the man was Babaji's servant. And so he says, this astrologer has told me that I'm going to die tonight. And Babaji said, go back and tell him. It's not going to happen. You got to realize that these masters have so much power. They have God's power. He said, go back and tell him. And the man was shaking, and he went back. He says, my guru says it's not going to happen. I love that. And then Shankarji says, well, if this doesn't happen, I myself will come and take Diksha from your guru, because this is a heavy karma. You have to die tonight. And so the man goes back. He's scared to death. And as the story goes, and Swamiji told us the story often, he said, Babaji laid on top of the disciple all night long while there was lightning striking everywhere. And you can think of he's figuratively laying on him, physically laying on him, or his aura was all over the disciple. And haven't you felt? I felt so many times Babaji's aura is all over me, protecting me. And in the morning, the man was fine. He goes back to Shankarji and he says, Shankarji says, I'm coming with you now and take Diksha from your guru. And Swamiji told us, his master told him, that's how Shankarji got Kriya initiation. Isn't that a beautiful story? It's a Leela, but it's a beautiful story. And for all of us, let's remember, just don't try to run and hide. Be strong in yourself and just know that it's God's hand, everything that's coming to. I just love the thought that we're getting more and more free. Every day I'm more free. Every Kriya I'm more free. Every test I'm more free. Every time I serve and do energization and help my guru's work, I'm more and more free. And as we go in that direction, Swamiji said he had this brother monk who had a dream. And in the dream, all the monks were running toward the light. And some fell, and then some got back up, some didn't get back up. And Swamiji asked the monk, he said, did I fall down? Was I in the dream and did I fall? He said, yes, you were there. Yes, you fell. Did I get up? Yes, you got up. And that's the important thing. We get up, and he said, finally, those who kept going, they went into the light. And so why not just keep going forward, keep getting up, keep trusting God, keep having faith, keep being courageous, inspired, keep strong in yourself. And finally, one day, this dream will break and we will be free. God bless you all. Jai Guru. I'll ask Nitendra now to come on. And we have a few questions today.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. I will just share my screen for the questions. Dhyanaji, the first question is, I seem to get many more tests and challenges than perhaps others. Why could that be?
Now, I think everyone thinks that, isn't it so? My tests are harder than yours. My tests are bigger than yours. You don't seem to have any tests. Well, I love this thought that once you come onto the path, everything that comes to you really is from God's hand. If you see it as good, if you see it as bad, if you see it, I don't want it or I don't like it, it comes from God's hand for yourself. So it's like custom made for you. It doesn't belong to somebody else. You can't live somebody else's life. These are lifetimes and lifetimes, who knows how many of karma. But I love the thought Swamiji said, once you get to this point where you're sincerely, really trying, really putting energy forward to find God, Swamiji said to us, it's in the new path. He said, it's as if you were a step away from freedom. So just keep that in mind, not how many tests, I get so many today and tomorrow I'm going to have more. Next week, I'm going to have some more tests. And it goes on and on and on. Just don't judge yourself by somebody else. Just be yourself and know that, isn't it the best thing that Master is with you? Who cares about? I mean, I've gone through my share of tests. I mean, a lot. And then sometimes there's karmic bombs that explode and you go, my God, what just happened? I was doing fine. But what I see it as, I need this to be free. Isn't that a wonderful attitude? I need this to be free. It's beautiful. Instead of, don't do it. Everybody's, don't. And now my mantra is, I need this to get free. If this is going to help me get free, I'm happy. What a different attitude. That's what Master meant, is the attitude of the mind. If you see positive or negative, I need this to see my guru sooner rather than later. Isn't it a wonderful thought? I told you that story about the man, Horace, who was the spastic. And I've told it so many times, but I just said the ending part, that he couldn't even walk anymore. So he just was lying on the grass, pulling the weeds at the ashram, because he just wanted to keep doing something for his guru, serving. Like Yanamata would write letters from the bed. She couldn't even get out of the bed. But then a disciple was walking by Master when this fellow was there. And, not at the end of his life, but during the time Master's life, when Horace is his name, he was there. And the disciple is a woman disciple. And she in her mind was thinking, why doesn't Master heal him? He must know he can heal him. Why doesn't he heal him? And, what did she know? So Master caught the thought, and he went over to her and he said to her, isn't it wonderful that Horace is working out all the karma that put him in that body in this lifetime? Isn't it wonderful? In this life, he's going to get free of that. And Master said he was nearly fully liberated, period, because of his devotion. So rather focus on, isn't it wonderful? Someone I know close to me said, I'm going to use that as my mantra now. No matter what tests come, isn't it wonderful? It's a beautiful thought.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. We have two more questions.
Okay.
First one is, sometimes I feel like I can't go on as there is so much pain from something perhaps that has happened. But how can I get stronger in myself or avoid these tests?
Yeah, it's painful. I mean, life is painful. I was thinking, God, it's been a long lifetime. I was thinking of my childhood and then being a teenager and working up to an adult. And, it's like, God, how many experiences does a person need before they can get free? And so what to do about it? You have to get stronger in yourself. I just feel like everything I've gone through has made me stronger and bigger, that the tests just they seem smaller. Does that make sense? So you get stronger in yourself and the test is smaller. If you go, oh my God, it's another test, and you're just weakening your aura, you're weakening how can Master even help you? You're a complete weakling. And you know what he said, that a boxer doesn't box with babies, and at one man, he was just his baby, and Master called him a baby in public. He's my baby. He was a grown man. He said, I'm calling you. You don't mind if I call you baby, do you? I'm calling him baby because I'm babying him. And the man said, no, Master, I don't mind. You don't want to be that. And so just keep your practices strong. Stay with strong people. Don't be with weak people. You have a problem. You call somebody weak. They say, God, I got so many problems myself. I can't help you. You call a strong person. They say, hey, what's wrong with you? I'll send you a talk of Swamiji. I just read something in one of the books. Here's some music I'll send you. Let's go for a walk. Let's go to the satsang. Let's go to the kirtan. A strong devotee has solutions. You want to be with people with spiritual solutions, not people who are always complaining. Most people complain all the time. And so be with the right people, right company, right environment. Ask Master's help in the midst of everything. Hold on, I have a picture of Master right here. Cling to it. Take it in a car with you. Take it to work. Take it, I was out recently and I just thought, God, there's so much going on. I need extra help. I got another mala and put it on and wore it. You just get an astrological bangle, get a navratna. All these things are very helpful. And the main thing is Guru Kripa. That's what I found. Master can pull you out of any disaster. And let's face it, they're self-made. They're self-made. You didn't make it, you made it. But I've seen him pull people out of so many disasters. And I remember once I was just totally at the rock bottom. I tell you these things because people think, oh, you just chant Om and you're happy all the time. You don't do anything else. And come on now. And so I was remembering, I said this to Swamiji. I said, Swamiji, I'm affirming, I'm reading, I'm doing classes, I'm serving, I'm meditating. I don't know what else I can do. I just can't pull out of this heavy energy, this karma. And he just said, don't worry about it. And I thought, he's not worried. I'm the one going through the karma. And so, but I listened to him and I went home. I went to bed. It's never happened before or after this particular thing. I got up. I was completely fine. I went to Swamiji. I said, Swamiji, I don't know what happened. I'm just completely fine now. He didn't say much. He just said, that's good. Now, what happened? And I remember not that time, but one other time. I mean, there's been numerous times. One other time, I tried to thank him. What did he say? Dhyana, Master's helping you. And I'm going to say that to all of you. If you tune into him, Master's helping you. How can you have more help than that? But if you don't open the door to his help, he told one disciple, you shut the door, how can it come in? Master's helping you. And he wants to help you. He wants to help you every minute of every day. Go with that and you'll be fine.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. The last question is related to that. So how do I know if Master is really helping me through these tests? Because sometimes it seems like he's not there. In such cases, how do I draw his presence more?
I've got to say this. Are you there? That's more the question. I mean, how can the guru not be there? Like he told Mr. Kwaran, I lost sight of you for many lifetimes, but I won't lose sight of you again. Senor Kwaran kept saying to Master whenever he saw him, please, Master, don't lose sight. Don't, please promise me. And Master said, I won't lose sight of you. Now, Swamiji explained that, and he said, Master didn't lose sight of Kwaran. Kwaran lost sight of the Guru. He dropped out. He stopped his practices, and so here's the thing for us. He's ever there. How do you know? You know from the guidance you get, the direction you get, the feeling in your heart, the joy that you feel, the love that you feel. Sometimes, like his Master with us now, I feel him so deeply. You must feel him. It's a deep feeling in your heart and soul of expansion, of upliftment, of joy, of peace, of calmness. That he's there. And I'd rather affirm that he's there. I mean, Swamiji said this. He said he went through such a hard time once. He just felt Master wasn't there. Master wasn't helping him. Master didn't love him anymore. And he said, he told us, I said to Master, I don't care if you love me or not. I still love you. I don't care if you're there or not. I'm with you. Do you understand the difference? A disciple, and when Swamiji knelt down in front of Master, Master accepted as a disciple, Swamiji, he was saying the whole time in his mind, you must take me. You must take me. You must. Understand? And I said to somebody, I never asked like that. I was just, I'm taking discipleship, That's not the way to take discipleship. That's not the way to take Kriya. It's not the way to be a disciple. It's, Master, you must be with me. You must. And is he not going to come then? Of course. But if you're weak and limp, Is anybody there? Can anybody hear my prayer? It has no magnetism and no energy. It has no power. So if you really want to call on the Guru, call on him. Don't go on the phone all the time and the social media. Get in your meditation room and call on him. I have his Murti in my meditation room. I'm leaning on that Murti every day. Help me, help me, help me with the class. Help me with Hindi. Help me. Everything. Get busy. And then you're going to find, wow, what was I doing before?
Thank you, Dhyanaji.
God bless you all. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.